10 interesting facts about Adolf Hitler you didn't know about. 1. Before he became the infamous dictator, Adolf Hitler wrote a book titled Mein Kampf, My Struggle. While most people are aware of this work, not many know that Hitler's book was initially unsuccessful in sales. It only gained widespread attention after he became Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Later, it was required reading for many members of the Nazi Party and was widely distributed across Germany. 2. He was a failed artist. In his youth, Hitler aspired to be a professional artist. He applied twice to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, but was rejected both times, a setback that he later blamed for his failure to succeed in life. His early art, mostly watercolors, was criticized as lackluster and lacked the originality and talent necessary to become a recognized artist. 3. He was vegetarian and avoided alcohol. Hitler followed a vegetarian diet for much of his life, particularly during the later years. This was partly due to his belief that vegetarianism was healthier and partly because he reportedly had a strong aversion to animal slaughter. He was also teetotal, meaning he abstained from alcohol, although his lifestyle and dietary choices were not publicly emphasized. 4. Hitler was influenced by charismatic leaders. Many historians argue that Hitler was heavily inspired by other charismatic leaders and movements. For instance, he admired Mussolini's fascist regime in Italy and sought to replicate some aspects of it. Additionally, he was influenced by the Völkisch movement, which emphasized Germanic nationalism and was rooted in ideas of racial purity. 5. He had a complex relationship with his family. Hitler's relationship with his family was complicated, especially with his father, Alois Hitler. Alois was authoritarian and abusive, which Hitler later claimed had a lasting impact on his personality. His mother, Clara Hitler, was a much gentler figure, and Adolf was very close to her, grieving deeply when she passed away in 1907. 6. He was not German by birth. While Hitler is associated with Germany, he was actually born in Braunau am Inn, Austria, on April 20th, 1889. He only became a German citizen in 1932, when he sought to run for office in Germany. His Austrian origins were a source of ridicule and resentment among some Germans, especially after Hitler began to claim that Germany should annex Austria to create a greater Germany. 7. Hitler was a strong believer in the supernatural. Hitler had a deep fascination with the occult, astrology, and ancient Germanic myths. He surrounded himself with individuals who were interested in these topics, such as Heinrich Himmler and his SS, which carried occult symbols and rituals. Hitler himself reportedly consulted astrologers and sought out mystical interpretations of world events. This aspect of his personality is often overshadowed by his political ideology, but was a significant part of his worldview. 8. He suffered from health problems. Hitler suffered from a range of health problems throughout his life, especially in the later years. He had chronic digestive issues, including frequent nausea and vomiting, which led to him being prescribed various treatments, some of which were quite experimental. His physician, Dr. Theodor Morell, provided him with a variety of drugs, including amphetamines, which may have contributed to his erratic behavior during the war years. 9. Hitler was unpopular among his own generals. Despite his rise to power, Hitler was often disliked by many of his military leaders. Some senior officers of the Wehrmacht, German army, had little faith in his military strategy and viewed him as a dictator who interfered with military decisions. Notably, Hitler's refusal to listen to strategic advice led to some major blunders, including the disastrous decision to invade the Soviet Union in 1941. 10. He loved dogs, especially his German Shepherd. Hitler had a deep affection for animals, particularly dogs. His favorite dog was a German Shepherd named Blondie, who was always by his side during the final years of the war. Blondie was also with him in the Führer bunker in Berlin during the last days of World War II. Hitler's fondness for animals contrasted with his brutal political policies, creating a stark contradiction in his character.